It's telling you to get outside. What? It's telling you to get outside.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So for this meeting, closed captioning is available on the desktop version of Microsoft Teams. To enable closed captioning, click on the three dots at the top of the window and click Turn on Live Captions. Unfortunately, captioning is not available for the web browser version of Teams. I will paste that information into the chat and also the agenda for the meeting, and I'll hand it over.
Cool. Looks like we have quorum, so we'll call the meeting to order. Or wait, we have to do roll call as well.
Yes. One moment, let me get that pasted in, and then I can call that off for you. Okay. Aron Artiega. Anna Baliakova. Emily Cadman.
Present.
Alina Delgado. Degrado. I think he's not here. Mitchell Henke.
Present.
Montavious Jones.
Here.
Kathleen Minnick.
She said she wasn't going to make it.
Okay. Ben Teal.
Present.
Great. Say what?
Anna's here now.
Anna just joined. All right, I will mark you. Barry Weber.
Present.
Stephen Owen.
Here.
And the public safety representative and DCD representative positions are currently vacant.
Cool. So the first item on the agenda is approval of last month's minutes. And those were sent out. Yes. I move for approval. We have a second.
Second.
All right, meetings from last month are approved. Thank you. So probably the big item for today is officer elections. In our bylaws, we have an annual meeting, and in that annual meeting, we elect officers for the coming year. And the process, at least in the bylaws, is relatively straightforward. Take nominations from the floor, and then we vote. And I guess we'll start with chair. Anybody would like to nominate anybody else or themselves?
Do nominations need a second too?
I don't think so.
I'd like to re-nominate Mitch, if Mitch is willing to stay on as chair.
Yeah, I would be glad to. I think I was really excited about what we did last year, and I'd like to continue.
That's a winning speech for me, man. I second that nomination.
But anybody else, like, please, if you're at all interested.
Can I campaign for Mitch? Mitch has done a great job with the committee since he's taken over chair. Stuff gets done. Mitch, I don't know how he has time to do all this, but he's been great for the body and great for Milwaukee. So
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, Mitch, and I hope you get to keep going in this position.
Thank you.
I don't know if she's present and would be willing to serve, but I'd like to nominate Alina. I think she's done really great work with the policy work group. I'm just really impressed with her all around. I don't see her on the guest list though.
No,
She's resigning.
Yeah, she's planning to resign as well.
Well, bummer. All right. Mitch is doing great. I'm not sad about
No, I
that.
don't think it is yet. Any other nominations for chair? Otherwise, I think we do a simple vote.
Is it a vote or a motion?
I think it's a vote.
Would you like me to do roll call?
Yeah, could we do roll call
Yes.
for all members present?
Actually, do we need to do a roll call or a motion to vote?
So here's how we did it last
Yeah.
time, I'm looking at the minutes. So there's a nomination made, so Montavious nominated Mitch.
Fair.
Mitch accepted the nomination. And then there needs to be a motion to elect. Mitch.
I move to elect Mitch as chair for this upcoming year.
And then that
I
needs to
see.
be seconded.
Okay.
Second, I can't second.
All right, you're not voting. There needs to be a second to Montavious.
Yeah,
And
I don't know.
Any objection?
Yeah, any objections or anybody have anything they would like to say as well? As we can vote. Your roll call.
I don't know, we need to.
Yep, here are no
Oh,
objections.
so you're no objections. We can do that here?
Yeah.
I see it in the committee meetings.
that's an informal vote right there.
Sounds good. I guess we'll do the same process for vice chair. Also, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Excited to continue working. Open nominations for vice chair. Again, you can nominate anybody else or self-nominate.
Barry, you want to do it again?
Sure. I've enjoyed doing it. I'm happy to stay on, but I also don't want to stand in the way if there's someone who's really, really feeling they want to be vice chair. But yeah, I'm happy to stay on.
People are really nice. I nominate Barry for a vice chair. It's a winning speech.
I was lining up my super PAC though, just in case.
Any other nominations for vice chair?
Was there a second on that?
And Aaron just joined, I don't know. if you heard that.
Sure. So, Ron just joined. We are currently doing nominations for the vice chair for this year. So if you have any interest in nominating yourself or anybody else, now is the time. Otherwise,
Or a second to Barry's nomination.
I think we only need a second for moving to elect.
Okay.
But with that, I'll move to elect Barry as vice chair for 2024.
I'll second.
Any objections? Hearing no objections, so ordered. I see them say that on the. Anyways, thanks everybody. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited Barry's staying on as vice chair. That kind of leads, I think, well into our next item on the agenda, which is a discussion on our 2024 plans and goals. I guess right now we're kind of structured in work groups, and I think that's worked pretty well, and I'd like to continue that structure. I think for myself, I would encourage the work groups to kind of continue doing work on their own and talking with people in the city or people out in the city, on kind of how they feel about things. And bringing stuff to the full body as needed, communicating as needed. As far as specifics, for me,
Question, can we just do a overview of the committees or, excuse me, can't call them committees, work groups?
oh, sure, like which ones exist?
Yeah. We got some new people.
Yeah, so we have the targeted improvements work group, which focuses more on small issues or potential improvements in the city. We have projects, which focuses on larger projects, things that are currently in the planning stages, to help provide our perspective on those. The other one is policy, programs and policies, which focuses on city policy, rather than built infrastructure stuff. I think that's all of them. We used to have a fourth one, but we retired. So communications and outreach. Does that sound right to everybody?
I have not heard that.
Oh, that it was retired?
Yeah.
I think it was maybe like, I don't know, they hadn't met for a while. So I don't know if it was official, but
I think
yeah.
Larissa was kind of pushing it forward, and then when she left, the energy behind it maybe fizzled a little bit. I think our projects group has been a little quiet recently too.
Yeah, I mean, that said, I think actually one of my like 2024 things that I had in my head is doing better on like communications and outreach. I think the city has a lot of projects upcoming, and it's hard to kind of get those out and see how everybody feels about them. Make sure that the word gets out about opportunities for input. I think we have a role in helping with that. But I mean, I'm open to what other people are thinking about 2024 and kind of what we should be working on.
Do we have a roster of the work groups who's on each group?
Somewhere probably. I know targeted improvements is myself, Barry, Kathleen, and Ben. Projects was Stephen, Anna, somebody else.
Well, I think it was on that.
Me.
Yeah.
Then,
Ben.
Yep.
Policy was you, Octavius, you were on that, right?
Yeah.
Alina. Was Anna the last person?
Around was on it.
Around.
Steve,
Stephen was also
not
on
voted. Kathy Brinker was not voted. Marissa was.
Yeah.
So I guess, what are people thinking for 2024? We focus on,
I would love, I don't know if folks are already doing this, but I would love to see daylighting work the policy work group was working on, keep moving forward.
yeah, I agree. I think Alina shared all of the documents that she had kind of put together on it. Is there anybody on, I guess, on that subcommittee or work group that would like to kind of pick that up and lead it, or somebody that's not on it then could take Alina's place?
So two things.
Mhm.
One, right now on policy. Now, for those of you listening, you don't have to be on the committee to be on a work group. You don't have to be a member to join a work group. But on the policy committee, there's only, or work group right now, there's only 2 voting members, me and Aaron.
Correct.
Lean's gone, Steven's not voting, Kathy's not
Is
voting.
Anna on that as well?
No.
On the list I have, she was. So it's Anna, Larissa, Aaron, Kathy, Alina, and Steven. Montavious, I didn't have you on the policy.
Anna, have you gone to any of the policy?
I think I must have fallen off the event invite, but I'd love to re-engage with that work group.
You know, what's leading that?
Yeah. So there's, with Anna, Montavious, and Aaron, there's space for one more person on the policy work group, if anybody's interested.
Right, and the max we can have for quorum
voting is
issues is
4.
4.
Yep.
You can't have 4.
I think you can have 4, up to 4.
So Montavious.
I'll do it. This is Emily.
I was on strategic communication, but now that that's gone, I'd join policy. If you guys would have me.
Yeah, so I heard Emily volunteered or was interested in the
Yep.
policy. Do we have somebody that is kind of going to take the lead in organizing meetings and all of that for that work group?
Let me get this first. So on projects, who we have on projects, according to the list?
Ben, Anna, Montavious, and Steven. With Montavious leading. So there's one open spot there. If you could restate who you think is on policies. for me, that'd be helpful.
Policy right now, or as of now, members are Montavious, Aaron, Anna, and Emily for voting members.
Okay.
With
If there's,
Stephen.
for the policy work group, if there's somebody else who feels really passionately about it, I'm happy to step aside.
It's you.
Love it. All right.
Yeah, settled. I'll continue to organize the projects.
There needs to be somebody reading the policies.
Yeah, do we have somebody that's,
Isn't that what I thought Anna just said that?
I think she was at just membership period is what she was asking.
I can on the meeting invite too. I'm happy to on the meeting invite for policy.
Cool. So in summary, targeted commits is myself, Barry, Kathleen, and Ben. Barry's mostly been organizing it in the past. Are you still comfortable with doing that moving forward, Barry?
Yeah. Totally.
Excellent. Thank you. And projects is Anna, Montavious, and Ben for voting members with Stephen as well. And Montavious is organizing that. And then policy is Montavious, Aaron, Anna, and Emily. And Anna will help organize those meetings
Steven.
with Stephen and Kathy Bringos as non-voting members.
So is strategic partnerships and communications gone or just dormant?
I would say dormant unless somebody has motivation.
I'd say dormant.
So we're
Yeah.
not getting rid of it, we're just-
Yeah.
We're the work group, so they're not really official. really, but
Yeah.
Who's the name of that?
What was it? Strategic.
strategic partnership and communication.
Thank you.
Whereas I'll say it was. Send it around.
And so
Yeah, we'll send it around.
for 2024, Anna mentioned daylighting. I think
Hold on one second. Sorry. Okay, so there is the one spot.
Uh,
practice doing that.
Sure. And are there any voting or non-voting members that are interested in joining projects or group?
Ideally, we'll have some new members coming on shortly. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yes, that's the next agenda item. So I guess with nobody has an information at this point, that is great. I think we've got full enough for groups to do great work. But if anybody is interested in joining projects as a voting member that is not on it, there is one spot left or available. So for 2024, Anna mentioned daylighting. I think that is a good one. I would be very happy to see the policy work group pick that one back up. Beyond that, are there any specific things that we wanted to make sure that we cover this year or focus on this year?
Well, I know one major project that's coming out, and we'll be ramping up in the near future, is the reconstruction of Sherman Boulevard. Sounds like there'll be another early 2024. Another,
Mike was looking for confirmation.
yeah,
Another what? What do you got?
like another public meeting.
It should be coming. I don't know what it exactly is. I'll look it up. We should have.
According to what I was just on the website a couple days ago, it said early 2024. I don't know what that
Yeah.
means.
I believe it's, sorry, this is Monica at DCD. I believe it's January 31st is the upcoming meeting for that.
Less than 2 weeks.
I have not seen that out anywhere.
I've been out for a couple weeks here because my mom died, so I don't know what's going on.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's at the it's at the Mary Ryan's Boys and Girls Club on the 31st from 4:30 to 6:30. I think I just saw that come through like a day or two ago, so I think they're working on getting the word out.
Yeah, somebody just put a link in there too in the chat, so.
Barry, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I will just say that one of my hopes, and I know the Targeted Improvements Committee has, we've had some smaller discussions on this, but I would love to see printed paper maps for Milwaukee bicycling make some kind of return in the coming year. There's been discussions about, well, as we continue to, as streets continue to evolve, how well can we keep up with that? So maybe it's just something that is only printable online. Maybe it's limited to just trails versus protected bike lanes or striped lanes and so forth. But it is something that I'm still having as a project I'd really love to see going, not just something you can download on your phone, but again, paper maps to be ordered, etc. So if anyone would like to reach out to me to continue this discussion, yeah, that would be something I'd love to still have everyone involved in, whoever they'd like. I'd like to just, on another note, while I'm bringing all this up, I know for me, it's kind of been tricky on the group to figure out the best voids that both I and then this committee can help fill. oftentimes there's something, I know for me, I'll come up with some idea of something I'd like to see, and then I'll go, oh, whoa, DPW already has that, and there's already a plan, or there's a grant that we're applying for already as a city. Oh, that's great. Oh, awesome. And some things are on the website, some things are in different advocacy sites, but yeah, I don't know if there's anything that the group here thinks that there's like, here is a void that we really could help fill that we haven't quite filled yet, or if there's anything there to bring up. I just wanted to ask the group that, or anyone else too, of is there a void that we as this group could be especially useful in filling that we haven't really tackled yet?
Yeah, I think that is a good question. And from my perspective, I think the way I think about it is we work on stuff that we think is important while also, hearing from DPW on kind of their thoughts or things that they think they could use, our input on, which is vague advice, right? But I think it's just unfortunately going to be the case that a lot of times it'll be unclear or ambiguous, which doesn't mean we shouldn't try, but that's how I see it or think about it. Did you have more that you wanted to add, Barry?
No.
Was there anything else for 2024 in the near term or long term? Anna?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a interesting time. I think, especially to what Barry's saying, like, you guys are doing great work in the city, and there's like stuff popping up like mushrooms all over the place. So that's really fun to see. I think one thing that this committee could do, and I don't know what the ideal like structure mechanism for that is help communicate about the changes. I think we've got a really good group here representing like lots of different parts of the city. And if we can help facilitate like communication about all the stuff that's going in, I think that could be something really useful, so that the city can keep pouring the concrete and all that.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
There's a comment in the chat. It's from Jessica Weinberg. She's commenting that the DOT no longer prints the driver's manual or translates it. So similar topic of information no longer being printed. And if anybody would like to work with her on that, please contact her.
I don't want to dive too much into detail on this, but just in kind of the theme of communications and getting the word out. We're definitely doing a lot of work on that, and we have some great new kind of marketing and communications folks at DPW. We're doing a lot of work, so just message one of them, and perhaps if that's something you all want to continue to improve on, and it's definitely something, just in terms of like existing projects, but also just building support for future projects is something that we've been doing a lot of conversation and talking on of late. So if that's a priority for y'all for the year, we can, obviously get the right people in the room and I think have some initial conversation on that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be great. That there are a lot of good projects upcoming. And making sure that people are aware and kind of understand.
We can definitely put, you in touch with Sarah and or Tiffany.
Sure.
So kind of hear what they're thinking. figure out what role you all might play.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think whatever we can do on that.
Hey, Mike, do you mind sitting at the table? It's just a little bit muffled.
I'll talk louder and hopefully I'll talk less, so I'm gonna stay right here for now.
That works.
Sorry.
We have a comment from Mary Beth. From a non-committee member, I'm interested in what this committee can do to highlight and find solutions for challenges like temporary but still very challenging barriers for pedestrians and people using mobility devices, especially during construction and snow and ice events. There are good policies, but policies are just a start.
This, like, I guess, I assume is more at the right of way and maintaining the right of way in an accessible manner during disruptions like construction. Is that?
Yeah, and obviously snow and ice, and that's no shade to our DPW folks who have been working crazy hard, but yeah, construction especially as well, since that is even less able to be planned for, I think, for a lot of folks than a snow and ice event.
Anybody know quickly offhand what the current policy is? Does the right of way have to be maintained? Like,
ADA regulations would require you to always maintain pedestrian and bicycle access. So if you ever see that out there, go on the DPW's website and put it in our call for service. And just let somebody know that, because sometimes people go out there and just start doing construction without actually getting a permit even. So it's good that we know about it, especially if they're doing things they shouldn't be. I think our inspectors are a little overworked themselves sometimes and don't necessarily go by the book all the time on that kind of things, or see other things and think that they're higher importance than that. So the more stuff that gets put into that system, the more they'll start realizing, like, no, we need to be on top of this.
so the public and us should have the expectation that all right of way is maintained if you're.
It should be, well, I was
Obviously,
obviously say like
it's
maintain, but like there should be some sort of detour or something
Yes.
at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. I think it's helpful to have that clarification or expectation.
Ben Teal responded to Mary Beth's comments. I don't think I've seen or walked on an uncleared curb once in the last week. I can't imagine how frustrating it is to use a wheelchair and need to cross the street with it.
Yes, I know that snow removal and right of way, sidewalks, bike lanes is a topic I would like us to get to. I know that it is also a very deep topic that would have a lot of discussion. So I will note it as something we would like to work on, whether that's something policy work group wants to work on as well. Does that sound right to everyone?
It doesn't sound right to me. I don't think it's a policy issue. I mean, the policy it needs to be cleared, bike lanes need to be cleared, corners need to be cleared. It's more of I think DPW gets that this needs to happen. But DPW is not on every corner, it's not on every bike lane. And their drivers are just out there plowing, they're doing whatever they're gonna do. It's incumbent upon, if you see it, you gotta report it.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing, the people in this group are obviously very, passionate about this stuff. So if we're really passionate about it, let's do something about it. One thing we do is, pull out your MK mobile app and report it. I find that, stuff gets done the next day. I call all lights out, it's getting done like immediately. So DPW's got to know about it. And the best way for them to know about it is for us to report that stuff. Every time you see it, the bike lane's not clear, this ramp, corner ramp is not clear, report it. Or that results in a ticket for a property owner who's supposed to be maintaining that, or DPW needs to come out and do it. They got to know about it. So it's not a policy issue. The policy exists.
Sure.
That we just have to, get people to adhere to it, and do something about it when we see it.
Hey, this is Jake. My raise hand feature doesn't seem to be working, but I just wanted to jump in on Montavious there as well. I go out and I report a lot of stuff, and I am glad that you see that it gets done, but I'd say 10% of the reports that I make appear to get completed. So I'm curious, and I know we've talked about this kind of before, but what are the like I'd like a report from someone who kind of manages that reporting system on like how many are reported, how many are fixed, how many are taken care of, like, because I guess I just I wish I could be as positive as seeing the reporting being effective. It's also just really concerning that we put this entirety of this process like on the public to report things instead of just DPW prioritizing and taking care of things. So I don't know if there's someone that, if we could get a report on what that process is, because from what I've heard before is that these get all put into a spreadsheet and hopefully maybe someday taken care of. And so understanding what, like Montavious is right, there's a policy. It's not being followed very strictly on implementation. And so what is the data around, the effectiveness of this policy and what changes can be made to that effect. And I'm happy to, I know there was some talking of this, their need on a policy group to work more on this or whatever. I'm happy to be involved there, but just an understanding of kind of the at-hand situation, I think would help us decide what as a committee can be suggestions for moving forward.
Yes, I appreciate sharing that. And this is just hopefully to plan for what we work on for 2024. I think focusing on how the right-of-way is maintained is important and something we should focus on. Whichever work group decides to take that up, whether it's requesting data from DPW about reported violations, reports, remediations, fines, or whatever, like getting that information to kind of understand where it's at currently. I think that would be a great start, to kind of see where the gaps are. But I would like to put a pin in it so we can move forward and discuss other 2024 things if we have them. 2024 plans or goals. Otherwise, move on. Did anybody have anything that they wanted to highlight?
Can I just say one more thing that's been bugging me? I mean, so we all see these and report them, and like the Beecher protected bike lane is untouched. I know a lot of the bike lanes along the painted bike lanes. I have not biked all around the city, right? It's been a little crazy weather lately. My biking and walking has been limited to relatively Bayview area. But the Howell and KK painted bike lanes are icy and not cleared, and so I guess and then we go online and we see these statements that DPW is doing it, and it's really frustrating to see people saying like, yeah, we're doing it, but then you go out in the real world and you see that it's not done, and so I don't know. It's frustrating to kind of feel like, hey, we're trying to bring this to your attention and you're saying we did it, and then it's really just not done. And so I don't know, that was just a pet peeve of mine lately. The kind of communication statements around it just do not seem to line up with the actions that we see on the street.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think this is not something that is new either. It's been an issue in years past, especially with just the structure that the city has. It's difficult to do things consistently for sidewalks specifically. I know plowing is operational challenge as well, but that doesn't mean that we can't do a lot better. And I think our job is to figure out what the gaps are and what's possible. I will acknowledge as well that I've seen a lot of the same as you. It was difficult biking here, a lot of ice. The bridges especially were difficult. But that said, it's a big topic, not easy to solve. And so I would like to kind of push it to one of the work groups that can kind of focus on it, and work more closely with DPW or whoever can provide information or data.
There are a few related comments. Mary Beth was asking about whether or not there's a specific policy for the clearance of pedestrian islands. Ben Teal was wondering the same, whose responsibility is it? So that's also something that can fit in with 2024 goals.
Yes, unless somebody has a quick answer on whether pedestrian islands are.
Okay, I would say just like for this whole topic, if it's a goal, that's great. If there's a discussion that wants to be had, this is a good example of something that, you know, needs to be put on the agenda so we can get the right people in the room.
Yep.
You know, Marissa and I cannot speak to this.
Yep, sounds good. Appreciate that. I think with that, unless somebody has a quick item that they want to add for something for 2024, I will move on to the next agenda item, which is a discussion on Alina's resignation and the vacancy. So we do have another opening. So I think we have people that are interested. I forget who nominated Alina. Do we know which? Was it the mayor?
No, I think it was Marika. I forget which committee she had. Public safety analysis, I think.
No, let's see. I think that's Spiker. Let's see if I can pull it up. Oh, she was appointed by the mayor. So we have to work with the mayor's office.
Did you send in Brooks' nomination?
Not yet. I wasn't sure on the process since Alina hasn't officially resigned yet, but Mike suggests that we could move forward with the mayor prior to receiving that. So I will, do we just email mayor@milwaukee.gov and, all right. I will take that. I believe we have all of the information, yeah. So.
Please include me on the email.
Yeah.
So we don't have a letter of resignation from?
Not like an official, I mean,
So the resignation's official, we need a letter that's just gonna document on file. Her comment that she resigned is good enough for the purpose of moving forward.
Yeah. Anything else that we wanted to talk about on that?
Not officially, we've got other people who are interested, when I get those resumes and cover letters, I'll forward those. I've been emailing people who have expressed interest before, seeing if they're still interested. We have a list from the original creation of the committee. The people who responded with interviews and applications, so reaching out to those people. We've got one person who submitted the required documents that we'll get over to the mayor. And we've got at least one other person who's interested, just waiting for their documents to come back. Then hopefully we'll have somebody to fill the police, fire, or health department seat soon.
Public safety or whatever. Yeah, public safety representative. I think BCD also said they had somebody who was in the process.
They didn't identify who that person was to me, but they said, yes, they're getting that person to the mayor's office to get nominated.
Great. I don't think we've ever had a public safety.
No.
But okay, so we have people that we will be forwarding to the mayor for the vacant voting seat. And DCD is also working to get somebody nominated for their non-voting
Yes.
seat. Sounds good to me.
And we have a new member?
Emily joined last month or the month before, yeah.
Hi, Emily. We haven't met before.
There we go. Hello.
But, okay, all that sounds good, right? There's nothing, follow up with the mayor. We kind of await seeing what happens with DCD as that goes. Next item on the agenda is our end of the year or annual report, which is required in our enabling legislation. I sent it out to everybody, I think, last week. It's relatively long, but it kind of covers a summary of what we did, providing letters of support for various projects and grants within the city. We had a couple interactions with legislative files as well, Cass Street Vacation and Hank Aaron State Trail crossings and signage. It also mentions the meeting where we had the opportunity to hear from students at Golden Air. Got a kind of small summary of other stuff that we made recommendations on too. I don't know if there's anything else we want to talk about for 2023 or would like to highlight in our letter. I've been emailing back and forth a little bit with Alderman Spiker, who's the chair of Public Safety and Health, and is kind of he would like to receive a copy. I'll be sending it to him, assuming we have no objections or issues with sending this out to him, and kind of adopting it as our official annual report for last year.
I looked at it, I reviewed it, I read it. It's succinct and accurate. I think it highlights us in a good light. We did have a lot of accomplishments last year. I think it's important for us to get that into the public record, especially before committee chair.
Agreed, yeah, and I think I offered as well that we could appear, or I could, Barry could appear before the committee if they wanted. No plans there as of yet. So I guess if there's any comments or questions. Otherwise, I don't know, do we need to move to officially adopt this kind of as our annual report? But I'd entertain a motion there.
I move to approve the document as constructed now and send to the chair of public health and safety, or excuse me, public works.
Public safety.
Public safety.
Yeah. They were the committee that handled the enabling legislation. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you both. Hearing no objections, we'll adopt this as our official 2023 annual report as required. I will send it out to Alderman Spiker as the chair of the Public Safety and Health Committee.
You got me on that, please.
Yes. The next agenda item was work group updates and discussion. I feel like we kind of covered that pretty well. Was there Were there any work groups that met since last month that wanted to provide an update? Barry?
Ben and I met on behalf of Targeted Improvements to discuss some things about a month ago. Ben, I can turn it over to you if there's some things that you were talking about you'd like to bring up now. But one thing we did discuss that I suppose I just would like to find out right now would be there was a discussion of outreach to groups like the Wauwatosa PBAC, the Wauwatosa version. And we were wondering, because we'd love to increase communication and collaboration, cohesiveness among the groups. But we were wondering, in terms of quorum and other related policies, if there's the best way to go about that.
I think it's fine to meet with them as long as you don't go above quorum, like, so it's work group sized meetings, like. As far as I understand it.
So ask them essentially like, hey, our work group would like to meet with one of your work groups or a couple of your representatives, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. There's our answer.
We actually had one of them on the call earlier, but it looks like he dropped. Ryan Walls.
Name looked familiar. What was his name again? Is he the chair or?
Ryan Walls. I know he's on the committee. I'm not sure if he's the chair. He and I have organized a bike ride together. I can connect folks if you'd like to.
Otherwise, I can just note on what I brought up earlier with paper maps and such. I've been in touch with the county trails staff with Milwaukee County Parks, and right now there's just a very early discussions. I've been looking at what already is available from the county, but because of course Milwaukee County through the Oakleaf Trail, certainly has the most trail mileage in the city, kind of like that would be the starting point. So I'll keep everyone updated on those discussions and what, if any, come of it.
Oh.
There is a comment from Ryan E. Wallace that, yes, he is the TOSA Bike Ped Committee Chair, and that you can reach out to him directly.
Excellent.
Thanks, Ryan.
Was there anything you wanted to mention, Ben?
No, sorry, not at the moment. But if Ryan is listening, I was just writing a message to Ryan, wondering if he can share in our chat when they meet and how we can join as guests to their meeting, since he has offered us the same.
Yeah, if you have a link to your meetings or schedule, Ryan, that you could drop it in the chat, that would be great. Were there any other work groups that met between last meeting and this one and had something they wanted to share? If not, we can continue on to new business. Stuff we would like to consider at our next meeting. I think one would potentially be Sherman Boulevard if after the meeting there's a recommendation we want to make. Do we know if there are going to be like alternatives presented or not?
It would probably only be a 30% plan at best, so no, not really. There'd be ideas presented to everybody.
I guess I'll assume no for now, but if that changes, just let me know.
I can make sure to send out something to everybody here in the committee about Sherman Avenue when I find out more about the public information meeting.
That'd be great. Thank you. any other new business, stuff that we wanted to make sure we discuss at the next meeting?
Anyone can chime in.
Yeah, anybody? Are there any projects upcoming within DPW? That's fine too. If anybody has something, feel free to email me, just let me know, before we get the agenda set for next month.
I
With
have a
that,
quick question.
yeah,
Sorry, I'm just wondering if there's any upcoming meetings on the Oklahoma Avenue project? Just curious.
The one from 27th to 6th Street, you mean?
Yes.
No upcoming meetings at this point. We're just coordinating with the state on some railroad issues.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Mike. I was just on the MKE site for it, looking at the timeline, trying to just reacquaint myself.
For everyone's reference, Ryan E. Wallace pasted in the chat the information about the Wauwatosa meetings.
is there going to be one more meeting for the Oklahoma project? If you know offhand, otherwise.
That was not the plan, unless there's any substantial changes.
Sounds good. All right, is there any other new business for next month? Otherwise, move on to upcoming events and announcements. So if any committee members or members of the public have bike or pedestrian related events or announcements to share, please raise your hand and we can share them. I don't know if Jessica is still on, but I know that two of the events, the city is hosting Vision Zero open houses, one on January 25th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Office of African American Affairs on Fond du Lac, and the second one on February 27th from 4:30 to 7 at the Mitchell Street Library.
Yeah, thank you so much. No, I appreciate it, Michelle. If anybody wants to volunteer and maybe like work a station with me, that'd be super appreciated, especially Spanish speakers for February 27th. But be in touch if you're interested. And then please share widely. And I assume everyone on this committee is a member of the Bike Ped e-notify list. Flyers and details went out, so please share. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, and there will also be some online opportunities to give feedback as well. Those are good, but they'll be shared with this group when they're ready.
Any other events or announcements?
January's critical mass is a week from Friday, or next week. Yeah, next week on Friday. Meeting at Red Arrow Park at 5:30, rolling at 6 p.m. Shorter routes in winter.
Should be gone.
Yeah, a little bit of snow and ice melt. Anybody else?
Just as an aside, I guess lately I've been giving my little compliments or things to share that I think are really positive. I live on the near west side, so I've been using the Connect One route a lot. And this is the time of year where I don't have my bike out quite as much due to all the snow and ice. So I take the bus a lot more. And it's actually really, really great how I find how easy I find that bus to use, especially with those, I can't remember what these raised stops are called that have been implemented with the live GPS that is mostly accurate for arrival times. But maybe you, some of you wrote it, a couple months ago when it first launched or something, but especially when it comes to how hard it is to get around in the snow and ice, just to kind of compare and, look to the future. I think it's a great thing to just check out if you can in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I think the official term is level boarding.
Aha.
But yes, I agree as well. Anything else before we close out for the morning? Would hear motions to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Thanks, Barry. Do we have a second? We have a second from Montavious. Thank you, everybody, for a great meeting. Look forward to all of 2024, or most of 2024 that we have left. Thanks. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye.